Okay, good morning, everybody, and it is a beautiful morning, the day after the alleged tornadoes tore through New Jersey. I didn't see any myself, but sun is shining, grass is green, the market is still brisk. And today, we're going to talk about the rental market, and it's almost, I will tell you, it's not like I'm coming in here feeling great about the rental market. I'm going to look at this from the perspective of a tenant today. And this whole podcast is based on a conversation I had with a real tenant Sunday morning. So, and I would just use the words, if you're a tenant and you're looking, it's tough. And I think I used the word dire with this particular gentleman. So I did a search for this gentleman in the following towns: Princeton, Hopewell Township, Hopewell Borough, Lawrenceville, West Windsor, Pennington. $2,000 to $3,500 a month. 3 bedrooms or more. That was it. Those are very basic criteria for the search. And a total of 4 homes came up. 4. That's dire. I like with a capital D. And actually, if this wasn't a public podcast, I would put an expletive in front of that word dire, because it's that serious. 4 homes came up. I did not see a condo. I did not say single family, detached, duplex. The whole market in those towns, 4 houses came up between $2,000 and $3,500. So it's kind of challenging from the perspective of a tenant. So when you're looking as a tenant, you're saying, what's happening in the market? This screen, if you're looking at the YouTube version of this podcast, is it. There's 4 homes in those core towns in Mercer County. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper, and then we're going to talk about strategies for you as a tenant, what you will need to do to secure a lease this spring, because it is as competitive as I've ever seen it for tenants ever. Okay, so first things first. Again, if you're looking at the YouTube version of this podcast, you can see the data. If not, I'm just going to kind of walk us through it verbally. So year to date in those same towns, Lawrenceville, Pennington, Princeton, West Windsor, Hopewell Borough, Hopewell Township, right? There was 128 rental units that came on the market. That's the entire market. Again, I didn't put any price criteria in. I didn't put anything like that. So 128 rental units came to the market year to date. Through April of 2022. Last year, same towns, 157. So it's down by 25 units, which doesn't seem like a lot, statistically speaking, but that's 25 families that will not get a home this spring. I mean, that's the context of what we're talking about here, and it's pretty serious. So, this is not to say landlords don't have the right to charge what they want to charge. Taxes in New Jersey are prohibitively high. Maintenance on property is prohibitively high. It just kind of is what it is. But I just wanted to bring attention to the fact that the market is rather severely undersupplied in any core town in Mercer County. So again, over 25 units down. So when you look at the average pricing in those towns, in 2021, the average rental in those towns would have cost you $2,584. So if you're an applicant, that was the average rent you could expect to pay. And you pay at asking price for the rentals, and it took the average landlord about 63 days to rent their homes. But the average landlord got 100% of their asking price, 63 days on the market in 2021. Fast forward to 2022, the landlords are renting their homes in 23 days. Interestingly, they're not quite getting 100% of asking price, but things are renting just as fast, and the average rental price is at $3,100. So rather incredible jump. So the tenant's paying $544 more a month. So what does that math mean in the real estate world? Very simply this: if you borrowed $100,000 from the bank, you're going to pay anywhere from $450 to $525 for that money. So it's about, just say $500 for every $100,000 borrowed. The tenant, right, is paying an extra $544 a month. So their average purchase price had to go up $100,000 for the same house. So everything a residential buyer is feeling in this market, the tenant's feeling it even more so. So there is an acute crunch. So that's $6,528 more per year that the tenant is paying for the same housing that they would have had last year. And obviously, this is a trend. We're in an inflationary market. And when it's an inflation-driven market, it's very good to be a landlord because there will be a diversion from buying to renting short-term as people save a little bit more money if rates go up. But the reality is, we are an underbuilt market. We are an undersupplied market. So for those of you who challenge all the new construction that might be happening in your market and there's not a lot of it, don't. Your friends and family need a place to live. So we're going to kind of hone in on Princeton for a minute. So year to date in Princeton, 33 rentals closed for an average of $3,939. So $3,939. And interestingly, landlords only got 97% of their asking price. I think there was a couple that skewed it, and we can do a deeper dive at a different broadcast. But again, it took an average of 31 days for those homes or properties to rent. Last year, same thing, $3,600 was the average, 64 days to rent, 100% of the asking price. So, you're seeing pretty significant price appreciation, not only in Mercer County, but obviously in Princeton. So what to do about it? Like if you're a tenant and you're like, I need to move to Mercer County, I need a home in New Jersey. What do I do? Well, we're going to talk about it from the perspective of things you have to do. First things first, offer above the asking price for the lease. Yes, because we're seeing bidding wars for leases. There was a lease that was 2 blocks from here. I think it went on the market in the mid 4s. My understanding is they got $6,600 a month by the time the tenant bidding was done. So just think about that. The tenants bid it up over $2,000 a month more than the asking price. Now, the asking price, I think, was too low. However, right, it just shows you the strength of the rental market, especially in the core towns of Mercer County. Offer a multi-year lease. The tenant, if offers a multi-year lease, it mitigates risk for the landlord, meaning this. The landlord won't have any vacancy next year. It'll guarantee occupancy. It'll guarantee the monthly payment. The landlord will cover their costs and maybe make a little bit of profit. Landlords make less profit than you think, by the way. But offer a multi-year lease. Have testimonial letters from a past landlord. So if you're a renter and you're moving from one rental to another, and you have a good relationship with your landlord, have testimonial letters. If you don't have testimonial letters from your landlord, have testimonial letters from your employer. Have testimonial letters from your banker, right? That you have assets that you're able to rent and you will pay on time. It's a very competitive situation. So the more color you can bring as to your background and the more strength you can bring to your application, the better off you are. No pets. So this is, if you're watching this or listening to this, this is where I'm going to get rocks thrown at me and eggs thrown at me. Leave Fido home with your folks if you can. Give your cat to your sister or your brother for the year that you're renting, because when landlords have the run of the market, they don't want pets. Pets are destructive, whether you like them or not. They do add smell, they do add hair, and they do add additional wear and tear. And if you have a pet and you're lucky enough to find a rental that will accept pets, and probably 10% of the active inventory would in an environment like this, you're going to have to pay more per month than a person who doesn't have pets, because the wear and tear that pets offer on a property is rather significant from a landlord's perspective. So for those of you who have already logged off because you're mad at me, too bad. Put Fido home with your folks or whatever if you can. If not, I obviously understand. But that's a severe reality of the market. Check all the private communities in the area. So Avalon is a big landlord, big real estate investment trust. They're in Princeton, they're in West Windsor, they're in Lawrenceville. So go to Google, search private rentals in the town that you're searching for, or rental homes in the town you're searching for. Check all the private communities. They will not be listed. They have their own staff. They do their own marketing. So you have to do a very thorough search of those communities. Again, you're not going to get a price break, so don't go in there thinking you will, because you won't. For those of you local to Princeton, check the Princeton University housing website, and I will read you the website. It's rather logical. offcampushousing.princeton.edu. So what is that? That's just another vehicle for tenants and landlords to connect locally here in the Princeton market. So again, rather short broadcast today, but this was really precipitated by a conversation I had with a tenant. And here's the tenant situation. Divorced, 3 kids, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with challenged credit from their divorce, got bad advice from an attorney, and the guy literally can't find housing. And he's got a great job. He's got great income. So, we're trying to help him. And all the advice I'm giving you here is advice we've given him. As a matter of fact, we're securing letters from his landlord today. So, again, when you're looking at the market from the perspective of should they build that 3-family in your town, here's the reality. Yes, they should. Should they build those condos in your town? Yes, they should, because there's people out there that need housing and literally can't get it in your town. So, that's today's broadcast. Sorry to sound so dire and ominous, but hopefully these tips to rent help you out. Landlords, be gentle and kind in this environment, because it is a tough environment for tenants. And that's it for this episode of the Wilton Report. Obviously, you can check us out on YouTube. Just search the Wilton Report. You can always call or text at 609-577-6786. And you can follow me on Instagram at JoshWilton71. So thanks, everybody. Have an awesome day. Any questions, reach out. We're here to help. Talk to you soon. Bye.